Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about another new palette. This is the Nude Beach palette from the Balm. This palette is the third installment of their nude palettes. The first two are Nude Tude and Nude Dude. I'm sure you've seen and heard those everywhere. So this is the Nude Beach. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today, and I have to say I absolutely love this eye look. If you want to see how I created this look, just stick around to the end of the video and I'll do a quick little tutorial. But first, I'm going to give you all the info about this product, and we're also going to do swatches. Just like the other two nude palettes, the Nude Beach palette retails for $36, and of course it has this adorable packaging. The Balm always has super cute packaging. It does have the shades inside the palette pictured on the back, and it comes in just like a lightweight cardboard sleeve that the palette itself slides out of, and it has the same artwork on the front of the palette as the packaging. The palette itself is a cardboard palette. It is really nice and slim, travel friendly. It has a magnetic closure. Inside you'll find a nice sized mirror as well as a little mini brush. The brush itself is okay. It is really small. It has like an angled liner type brush on one side and then a flat kind of packing brush on the other side. As usual with the brushes that come in palettes, I'm not really a huge fan of this. It's not terrible, it's just not really something I'm gonna reach for day to day. Inside the palette you'll find 12 eyeshadow shades, and the eyeshadow pans are kind of discreetly covering up all the people at the Nude Beach. I think that's really cute. There are 4 matte shades. This lightest kind of cream colored shade is more of a satin, and this very dark purple has glitters in it, and then the rest of the 6 shadows are shimmers. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the swatches now. I am gonna do the top row first, and then I'll do the bottom row second. As always, I'm gonna do both a finger and a brush swatch for each shade. For my brush swatches, I'm using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean off the brush in between each swatch with my Vera Mona color switch. These swatches will be done just on the back of my bare hand. There's no primer, no foundation, nothing like that. And I'll do the finger swatches on top and the brush swatches below. Here are the swatches of the top row of the palette. On top are the finger swatches and below are the brush swatches. Of course, as usual, the first 2 shades that are lighter aren't really showing up super great on my skin, but I did use this shade in my eye look and I felt like it really showed up well on my eyes, especially over a primer. So you'll see this is actually a super beautiful shade, even though it's not really showing up that well on camera. First, we have the shade Brilliant. And the brush swatch is basically just like blended right in with my skin. Next, we have the shade Buff, and this is a super cool kind of like pinky gold duochrome, but again, it is pretty light, so it's not the greatest on the back of my hand, but very beautiful on the eyes. This is the shade Brainiac. It's like a cranberry, a pinkish cranberry. Look how pretty the brush swatch is. I mean, look at these. Come on now. Next, we have the shade Built, and it is a very metallic gold. I basically want to bathe in this shade. Next, we have Bodacious. Oh my gosh, look at that brush swatch. It's so smooth, not one skip, not one patch. Oh my gosh, I love it. Lastly, we have this shade called Bootylicious. It's like a reddish purple. Very pretty. Here we have the bottom row of the palette. This first really shimmery vanilla shade is called Babe. This is a perfect inner corner highlight for me. I love it. Next, we have the shade Bright. It is a kind of medium rosy matte shade. Next, we have Brave. This is a purple with little red glitters throughout. I do think that this is the most dry feeling shadow in the palette, and that probably just is because it has glitter in it. Next, we have this medium warm tone brown called Bold. This is a great transition shade. I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. And I mean, can we talk about this shade? It's called Breathtaking. It is very appropriately named. I am fully in love with this shade. Look at it. Oh my gosh, it feels like butter when you touch it. Lastly, we have this super dark brown called Brazen. I love that they did a dark brown instead of a black. Just for me personally, a dark brown is way more useful, and I think this actually applies better with a brush than it does with a finger. I absolutely love this palette. I don't know why it wasn't really on my radar. I know it's new. A lot of new things have been coming out lately, and this just doesn't really seem to be getting a lot of buzz for some reason. And it's so freaking good. I love every single shadow except for the glittery one, the purple called Brave. I could live without that one. Every single shade in here is so blendable, so pigmented. It's all shades that I love. They all work well together. I freaking love this palette. Why aren't more people raving about it? I'm sure you're gonna be hearing more about it soon because it's good. It's really good. Now I'm gonna jump into a quick eye look using this palette. So if you wanna see how I created the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today, just keep watching. I'm starting off with my favorite eye base. It's my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I'm gonna use that light satiny shade called Brilliant to set my eye base and give me a smooth surface to work on. Now it's time for a transition shade. I love this shade Bold in the crease. It's so easy to work with. And I'm gonna do a little depth on the outer corner using the shade called Bootylicious. I'm gonna build this shade up with a flat eyeshadow brush on the outer half of my eyelid. For the rest of my lid, I'm gonna use this really cool duochrome shade called Buff, and I'm just adding that all over the inner one half of my eyelids. Then I'm going to use the shade Brainiac, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my finger and kind of tap it onto the lid where the two lid shades meet. Now I'm going to use the shade Bright with my original crease brush, and I'm going to add just a little bit more warmth and a little bit more of that pinky shade into the crease and blend everything together using Bright. Now I'm going back to Bold, that medium matte, and just adding a tiny bit of that on the lower lash line to help balance out the look. Of course, we need an inner corner highlight. I love this shade Babe on the inner corner. It's so shiny and bright. And last but not least, I'm going to curl my lashes and add a little bit of this L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara to my top and bottom lashes. And that's my finished look. If you can't already tell, I really love how this turned out. That's it for today's video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this palette, and if you picked it up or if it's on your wish list, leave a comment and let us know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So pretty. I love it. 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 So pretty. Because now's the time to just start opening packaging and using things for the first time. Obviously. And then the rest of it. You act like you've never filmed a YouTube video before. You've only made like 160 videos or something stupid like that. Oh, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Did I say that enough times? Just wipe it on your shirt. That's fine. Just have eyeshadow all over all the clothes you own. No big deal. It's great. It's good. What? What is that? Just, what? Regroup. Say something useful. You could say something else if you wanted to. Really good. Okay, obviously I need a new memory card because every time I film, it tells me that I have no space left. I know I talk a lot, but is it really that much? Maybe it is. I don't know.